Hi guys, it's Belle here and it is time for day 10 of Junk Journal January 2025, hosted by the lovely Meg Journals. Check out the links to her channel down below if you haven't already. And today's prompt is trim. Now, I'm sure, like many of you, my first thought was, oh, trim, like lace. But I decided, let's look at other what's the word, definitions of it. So I looked up other definitions. Did any of you guys also think of haircut, you know, when you're going for a trim? No, just me. But I thought, let's look at how we can do trim. I do want to use some fabric or lace on here, but also I was thinking of, you know, when you put trim around a roof, or sort of like a skirting board or something like that. That can be called a trim, and it's often made of wood and it can be decorative. Trim also means neat or ordered. I'm not saying this page is going to be neat, but I want to approach trim in a couple of different ways. And again, it kind of shows you guys other ways that you can do it if you want to use other bits in your stash. So the first thing we're going to do, actually, I've got my journal out, but we're going to move that, because the first thing we need to do is to actually gesso just 2 pieces. I'm going to use my white gesso, and I'm just going to, because I want to emboss on here, well, I'm going to attempt to emboss on here. And gesso kind of gives it a better background. The colours might pop. I think one of the colours doesn't really pop usually. I bought this years ago. Years and years. I'm talking, yeah. I don't even know how many years ago I brought it. So, yes. It should still work though. Does embossing powder have a date on it? Like a best before or use by date? I don't know. But anyway, we're going to use that in the vein of using things up that I have. I just want to, I don't want this completely. We don't need to put too much on. Let's just go into there, like so. Move this over. That now needs to go to the side and dry. Let me clean my hands. Where on earth did I put my cloth? I'm moving everything around because I just brought I just purchased something for my craft table, some storage. I'm on a low buy year just because I have so much stuff, but I'm not on a no buy year. So I did buy something for my craft table, so everything kind of got moved a little bit. Anyway, let's get on with the page. So let's do some basically collaging in the background, because that's what I like to do. And I've got some of this paper that's got some yellow on it. I've also got some of this. I just got paper scraps. Paper scraps. I might have to open this more like this. That might work better. Actually, I'm going to open it again. You can't see it open off to there, but it means I can put my little pot on here. I wanted to bring in some pops of yellow because we haven't really brought in a lot of pops of yellow for a little while. We've got this piece. This is a piece that my son made. So I do kind of like that. And that's got some yellow on it. Love that. Got a scrap of a dictionary here. Normally I'd be a lot more specific with what dictionary page that I'm going to use. But today, actually, I think I'm going to put it over the page as well, just to strengthen that bit of pink up as well. Let's have a look at what I've got. Got some music paper. I mean, it's me. I love my music paper. I'm wondering if I want to keep a little bit of that brown down there, actually. I wanted to keep a little bit of that pink. Let's do this. Yeah, I feel like I want it like that. I think a lot of this is going to be covered anyway, so it's all good. Look, I've been doodling on that piece, but that doesn't mean we can't use it. It just means we should cover it if we do. So let's get this piece stuck down first, shall we? Shall we just trim it to 3.5, and then this one's kind of done like so. And yes, I know obviously we've got to cut the corners off, but that's all good. So yeah, just grab your scrap papers. I love that. I love if I've used something to ink or scribble on or stamp on, just use that in your crafting, guys. I mean, what else are you going to do with it? Throw it away, recycle it? And depending what you've used on it, it can't always be recycled anyway. So use it in your crafting. That's what I like to do. I was actually looking ahead to some of the prompts. I don't tend to do that, but as I'm going away and I need to take some craft supplies with me so I can attempt to film where I'm going, as I'm doing that, I had to look ahead to some prompts, and some things are popping into my head. Normally I don't like to do that. Normally I like to literally just look at 1 or 2 prompts ahead, because I feel like you get a more authentic experience, and also it doesn't have my head overfilled with ridiculous ideas that then I can't sleep. So that's what I like to do. But this is a bit different because I have been filming ahead a little bit, so that there's hopefully, fingers crossed, some videos for when I'm away. I'm only away for about just under a week, so hopefully some will be done. So I've had to film ahead a little bit, but then I was just looking at some of the prompts, and I've had an idea for one of them, the repeat prompt. Now that is not until day 22, so I should be looking at these. I should be back by then. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, something popped into my head for that already. I want to keep this, and I know this has got pencil mark on it, and you can just bet I'll end up covering that up. But in my head right now, it's going to look nice when it goes down. I hope you're not getting bored of me just collaging the backgrounds often. I really love collage, and yeah, it's just a great way to use scraps up, and I do want to keep that bit. I want to keep the brown. Now I am going to cut the corners now, because it just helps me to visualize the actual page, the actual tag that I'm working on, if I cut the corners beforehand. And also we're going to just bend this so that the paper, because obviously I put extra paper over the spine, so I just want to, oh, it's already bent, look at that. So yeah, that's good. Let's just open this up. I love the fact that this watch moves, but it also kind of gets in the way when I'm doing other things. Let's just cover that up. Okay, so we've got this. Now, obviously, I've been using people. I'm going to use this lovely couple on this piece. And I did, as I said, I wanted to bring in a piece of fabric. Now, this is one I'd already had made. This was in my snippet box. It does have what I would consider trim on here. You guys might not. I know, again, looking ahead till near the end, that there is a prompt that says fabric, but I'm feeling this for this prompt. And who says you can't have the same thing a couple of times? I also have this blue, it's kind of textured tag. And I was wondering about bringing this in, but having it off to like an angle, maybe, so that we just have that bit. I don't want that whole tag. Let's cut some of it off. I don't know. We are just going with it and seeing what we like. I'm going to go round this in walnut stain. And thank you to everyone who has watched, commented and liked my paper bag journal. I was just so blown away by the amount of views that got, because I really didn't think anyone would be that interested in it. So we have got some trim. I was thinking of having this like hanging either almost like a tab on here. I think that would look quite cute. We could even have it further down because we've got the lace there. We could have it further down, or having it kind of coming out of the photograph. What do we think? Maybe using trim in a different way. There's a lot of blue on this page, I'm just realizing. I want to bring in, look, we've got this ticket left over. It's got a bit of orange. We have used orange in here, and there's orange on the bag. And it's also got a little bit of blue. So, although we won't see any of the blue if I have it like that, will we? But I almost like it just like that. Which means we've lost a lot of the tickets. If you can hear that in the background, that's my Toffee. She's calling for me. Toffee, I'm in here. Sorry. It's one of my little kitties. Right, let's glue this down now before I forget. And then we're going to check if the, what's it called? If the gesso has dried on the wooden trims. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what everyone else has come up with trim. Sometimes I just really like looking at something and then looking up the definition, because I think sometimes we go to our immediate go-to, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong. Right, they still need a bit longer. There's nothing wrong going to your immediate kind of first thing. But also it's just fun sometimes to think, okay, well, how could I look at that prompt differently? How could I approach it and use something else that I might not have immediately used, but that works well with what I'm doing. See, I've also got this piece of ephemera. That might be a Tracy Fox piece. That would cover up all that orange ticket, which means I wouldn't have needed to actually put that on there. Toffee, I'm in here. Come on, silly girl. That's too high. We'll come back to that. To have this little bright pink piece. I'm waiting. I might have to go and... That makes no sense, does it? Styles of 1900. This is not the 1900. But sometimes something doesn't need to make sense for it to actually be on a page. I know. Who am I? Who's saying this? Not me. If you don't know, you're new here. I like things normally to be very coordinated. Like normally I would have picked a a dictionary page that had a word that linked to something on here. But today I just went for my scrap and thought, do you know what, let's just do the scrap for today. We haven't even stuck any of this down, and I'm sticking this onto here and then this here. That'll be fun. But I like that. Right, I am going to dry that gesso because I need it dry so that we can emboss, so that I can see the page layout. Okay, so those are basically dry. Please don't get distracted. I got distracted by my cat whilst I was doing it. Held the heat tool far too close and it started to burn a little bit. But that's okay because I probably would have inked it. So we have two options. I have this Personal Impressions embossing powder, Mother's Day pink. Look at that. Does that look like my kind of colour? You can't even see it. It is so bright in real life. It is ridiculous. It looks quite muted on the camera, but look at that. Look how bright these are. It's just crazy. And then I also have the enhanced pearl blue, because we do have quite a lot of blue on here, so I don't know if I want blue, especially as I'm trying to work out. So I want the love. I could have the love down there in pink, and then this is acting, I know it's a postage stamp, but it's acting like the trim, the wooden trim that would go around, like a decorative trim around a piece of wood. I might have that in blue and this in pink. So let's see if it works. I need to move this over a little bit. Let's just close it. It's normally closing the other way, but it will close that way. Sorry, Heinrich, you need to go that way. All right, so let's try the pink first, because I really don't know how this is going to work. And I'm hoping this dauber really, I need to use it more often so that this is definitely, you know, working. Okay, let's put some of this pink on here. Honestly, I must have had these more than 10 years. I mean, there is a reason. I think they probably came in a kit that I had, because I don't think I would necessarily go out and buy some pink, bright pink, sparkly embossing powder. I'm laughing, guys, because if you know me, you know that's almost the opposite to anything that I would normally purchase. So we're going to move the pink over here a minute. And then I want to bring in this blue on here and see what that looks like. Because again, one of my goals this year is to use up what is in my stash, my supply. And if I don't use it, if I really don't use it and I don't want it, I must, by the end of the year, it needs to have gone, because it's taking up precious room. I will bring that goal video to you. I keep saying I'm going to, and I haven't got round to it yet. Realistically, you've heard all my goals. I can't even remember half my goals now. I've been saying them in videos, but not keeping track. I've got some definitely in my head. So you'll probably hear about 3 goals, that's it. But anyway, it will come. Maybe that's what I'll film next week when I'm away, because it's simple to film and I can be doing a gentle craft in the background. Okay, so I am going to go and heat these, and then I'll show you what they look like. Okay, that's done. The pink went even lighter, so this is what it should be. I'm hoping that's picking up. This is what it kind of should be. The sun's glaring on it, and then it's gone really light. This actually does look the same colour, but it's not. This almost looks white, and it's really bubbled up on there. So I don't know if that's because of it being on wood, or whether that's just the glitter, or whether that's because it's very old. However, the blue one is just as old, and that got a beautiful finish. I actually really like that dark blue. Either way, we're going to use them in the page, so it's all good. Let's open this up. And let's do this. Okay, now I think I'm going to glue that onto there. But I'm also wondering about, actually, now I'm thinking about it, where I want to use a bit of fabric trim, if I want to at all. Let's glue that onto there. I don't want to glue everything just yet. I've just realised I've got glue on the back of there because I might want to add something. Or do I? I could add it to the fabric. Let's just do it. Let's just stick it down. Let's be brave. Oh my goodness. I'm pretty sure I'm going to regret that. And I wanted the, look, this is so pastel, guys. It's kind of hurting my brain. Let's have a look. Is there anything I can bring in that's a bit darker? I do have this, which is weird, but it's like the negative of some butterflies. And that might work really well, like up here, to get rid of too much pastel. I just don't know. It's so pastel. Let's try it on here. You're not really going to see it on there. Let's try it on this. Not really seeing it on there either. We do have some yellow. I could bring in some more yellow. Maybe that would work well up there, actually. We do have a little bit more of the blue. We've already got blue. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine just as is. What do we think? I feel like I want, hold on, I feel like I want like a label. I don't know if I've got one that would work because it's quite, oh my goodness, I've just pulled the divider out between these. Let's put that back in there because otherwise everything's going to be in the wrong place and that would bother me. This has got black around it. That might work. I know it's, the word is bigger than the label itself, but it could work because I don't think I have got that one. That could work too. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at which one I like. Well, I've only kept the one out, but let's see if I like it. I think I do prefer that, actually. Could bring it down a bit so we can see that ticket that we did glue on there. I wonder if, see, that trim could fit over the top too, just a little bit. Then we could stick the love on there. I think this page is definitely going to need some black splatters, if I'm honest. It really is going to need them. Because, you know, it's very pastel. Even with that dark navy blue, it's very pastel. And that's just not my vibe. Okay. Although we've used some pink in here. I think it's this fabric as well. There's pink and blue in this fabric, but the green is a really bright green as well. So there is that. Oh no, am I even holding it in the right way? I want to hold it in a way that it won't break because this is very fragile. This is another thing I have a lot of. I love wooden embellishments. I really do. And I used to use them a lot in my pocket letters, depending on what country they were going to. But because certain countries, you know, you can't send wooden things through customs. But the problem was that I don't use them as much in my journals. But I have a lot of them. Oh, I think that's so cute. I think I just want to, first of all, I think I want to go around that heart. Oh, we could, the splatters will go on it. Let's just ink around it a teensy tiny bit. Okay, and let's just put this back on here again and see where it came up to. So it's between the A. So the heart can kind of go on this bit that says loader there. Yeah. Yeah, so I have so many wooden pieces and I do love them, but I really don't use them that often anymore. So again, I thought trim, I thought of wooden trim that you put around roofs and things like that, decorative trims. Or even on, you know, on cabinets, you'd get that kind of maybe scalloped or heart edge or something. And that can definitely be considered a trim. This is a very romantic page. I really don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. Oh dear. This lovely couple are obviously celebrating a Valentine's Day together. I feel like he would have, you know, they've just started dating, or maybe it's their first Valentine's since he came back from the war or something. You know, it's very cute, but also very, very not me. I want to bring in some of this. I love this kind of torn edge stuff. And I know I've glued this down, but we might be able to get it back up. I say, hoping beyond hope that we can. just force that. Let's trim a bit of it off and it might go underneath better. And yeah, I am definitely going to be adding black splatters. I've made that decision. I think we need to trim it a little bit more again, because I still want to see this bit down here. But I definitely want this on here. Now, where'd my glue go? So yeah, little romantic one. Who am I? I tell you, these challenges I always surprise myself, because I am just naturally a grunge and gothic girl. And then I do these challenges and I'm like, do you know what? Let's not just do grunge and gothic. Let's just play with what we've got. And sometimes the weirdest things happen, like today's one. Now, I may love grunge and gothic, but I also get bored if I'm doing the same style repeatedly. Like, I'm just one of those people. I need to mix things up, otherwise I just get so bored. Because I don't want to be constantly doing the same style. Yeah, I get bored with it. I wanted to leave that bit of brown down here, but actually I really like the yellow coming in, and we can still see part of the brown. I do actually like that. Maybe if we bring in just a little bit. No, I like this bit. Okay, let's edge that. So yeah, I just get bored if I'm doing the same style repeatedly, even if that's my favourite style in the world, which grungy gothic is. Victorian gothic would probably be my favourite style of all. I just get bored. So I tend to mix things up, have a go at playing with other things. And I would never, well, I say never, I have made spring journals, but I would rarely, unless it was a design team thing or a custom order, I would very, very rarely ever use these kind of colours or this kind of style. Like, it's just not something I would gravitate towards. So it's fun when you're doing it for a challenge that you're doing something a bit different. I mean, that's just a bit too much lace, isn't it? There's lace on here. And again, I wanted to go for a slightly different take on trim. I was thinking, now I have, is that too much? I have some brads. I have like these button brads, different sizes buttons, and I was thinking of adding one of those. I think the bigger one would work better. Do you know what? Let's just do it, guys. Let's just add it. We can cut again, not the craft knife bell. If I glued that down, I have. Let's just add it. So we have some fabric trim, we have some wooden trim. We're looking at things a bit differently. But yeah, let me know down below if that's a thing with you, whether you just get bored of doing the same kind of style, or whether that's just a me thing. I mean, I absolutely love Gothic. I know I put a hole through this. Where did I put the hole through? I can see it more on this side. Right, there we go. And dark and grungy and all that good stuff. But yeah, if I'm just doing it repeatedly, and there is a part of me, this weird part of me, that sometimes likes to do brighter colours. I find it happens most after winter, which makes sense because the winter is quite dark and, you know, spring is coming. So suddenly I start thinking about brighter colours and thinking about the flowers and just wanting some sunlight after a long winter. And I love the winter, as I said in another video. I love winter. I love the cold. Not too cold. I don't want it ridiculous. But, you know, I love all that. And we still need to put the word trim on here. But I do love the spring. As I've got older, spring was always kind of like, yeah, didn't really do much for me. Not that bothered. But as I got older, and especially with my own garden, suddenly I really love spring as well. It's still not my favourite. That would definitely be autumn and then probably winter. But I do like spring now. So we could have put it up the side under there if I'd thought about it. I mean, it would just go up there too, wouldn't it? Like just there. It would. It would go there. Let's put it there. So yes, suddenly now I like spring. And I noticed last year when I was doing the Marguerite Miller that I suddenly started doing loads of Marguerite Millers that were really bright. And I couldn't understand why I was using so much pink and white and stuff and bright colours. And then I realised that it was coming into spring. And I just think seasonally, because I'm like kind of living in tune with the seasons a bit more, it was definitely affecting my crafting as well, which is always interesting to see. Right, I need to trim this, so I need to turn this all over. The great thing about this tag booklet is it's so easy to move around. It's just so simple. No, come back. Where are you? We haven't named them, have we? Do you know what? You guys name them. I'm always doing little stories and names, so I'm giving you guys the opportunity to name this sweet couple and tell me what you think they're doing on their Valentine's Day. I have in my mind what I think they're doing. I don't think I can make this into like a, you know, a little angle. But let's try. Yeah, let me know what you think they're doing. I know a lot of you enjoy my little storytellings that I do. And I do have a little story in my head for them. But I'd be interested in what you guys want to name them. And shout out to Audrey, who came up with a name for this little dog here. I called him Charlie, but Audrey said you should have called him Tucker. I mean, perfect. Perfect, Audrey. And that's my level of what's it called? That's my level of comedy. So, right, I have the tiniest smidge in here of this out Newton black ink. And after this, I mean, I could allow myself to buy another one, but I don't want to. After this, I need to just go back to using acrylic paint. And I'm really going to struggle with that, guys, because I really love using, I'm trying to find my gloves. I really love using this Newton. Right, I also need, let me stop you a minute. I was trying to find both my new paint palette that I just brought, not just brought, I got at the end of last year. because my other paint palette was just needed replacing. And I was also trying to find my splatter brush. I'm trying to get the smallest dips of this out. You can't even see. Let me move you over so you can see. Okay, there we are. You can see now. And I have to cover up their faces. That's the only thing I need to cover up. I might cover up the word trim. But other than that, everything else can be splattered. We just need some black. I might actually add a tiny bit of water to this because it's almost all gone. Oh my gosh. I just love the thinness of the splatters that you get with this. I'm obviously covering up the other pages. I mean, it doesn't matter too much because it's the front page. But yeah, I just love how tiny these splatters are with this ink. So maybe what I'll do is I'll ask one of my kids for it for like a Mother's Day or something. Is that allowed? Do we want to add a few splatters on here too? I might splatter that afterwards. Right. Let's move this. Let's move this. Now that just feels better to me because it doesn't feel so bright. Oh dear me. I don't want to waste this. I'm going to have to splatter it on something. But there we go, guys. That's today's page. What do we think? You guys might have been like, no, leave the splatters, Belle. Don't do it. But in all honesty, it needed it. It was too bright for me. I like the way it's gone in the heart as well. I was going to add splatters to that page just on here. I don't think I will now because that's got splatters all over it. Maybe some up there. I'm just looking thinking I don't want to waste the ink. So do I want to add it in other places? Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. We have completed day 10 trim. And as I said, I've looked at trim in different ways. I've looked at it as borders and wooden and decorative as well as fabric. And so, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to name this lovely couple down below. I have names in my head and their little story, but I want you guys to share what you think their story is and what you think their names are. So yeah, do link that down below. Another fun page, a bit different for me, very bright until I covered it in black splatters. And I will see you again next video. Please do like, subscribe, share and comment down below. I really do appreciate every single one of you that does that. And so I'll be back again with another video. Until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.